Thank you to Clorox for sponsoring today's video.
Fambam, what's going on? Your boy just got done cleaning up the house. I've expressed this before, but I really do enjoy cleaning. I love cleaning a lot because it's where I get into some of my deepest thoughts in my head. And I either think about two things. I think about creative stuff when it comes to like video ideas or like business ideas that I have, or I get into like the deeper side of things about like me being a great husband and a great dad. As you guys know, that's like my number one priority is being a great husband and a great dad. And today I was more thinking about the dad side of things when I was cleaning, and I had some thoughts that I was like really wanted to share with y'all today that like I think could be helpful for all the dads and even the moms out there. And I want to talk about kind of like things that I do unconsciously as a dad that I get from my parents. But before I get into that, I want to give a shout out to Clorox for sponsoring today's video. Clorox is the best, dog, like for real, because I get to clean my house, I get to sanitize it, and I get to disinfect it, depending on what kind of mood I am, to like get my house kind of clean. But I'm gonna talk about that throughout the video about how I go about sanitizing, cleaning, and disinfecting my house. So today when I was doing my thing in the house, I was thinking about something called like a mark of measurement, right? It's like where I try to understand where I'm at on the scale, like on a scale of 1 through 10, how am I doing as a dad? And I think this is something that I go to mentally all the time as an athlete because I'm basically trained to always look for marks of measurement. I'm always like, what does the coach think? What does one of my teammates think? What does the fans think? What does somebody on Twitter think? So, like I said, I started cleaning the house, and that's what I always start with. So when I start in the house, I always start with cleaning. And like I said, there's a difference between cleaning and disinfecting and sanitizing, and the first thing I do is clean. And this is what cleaning is.
When I'm cleaning, my focus is to remove dust, debris, and dirt from a surface by washing, scrubbing, or rinsing it. And I'm easily able to do this with Clorox's new compostable cleaning wipes. Clorox's compostable cleaning wipes are a new way to clean sustainably and reduce waste, and they are made with a compostable plant-based cloth. The wipes do a great job getting all of the dirt and debris off many areas of my house like the kitchen and around my office. And what I love about the Clorox compostable cleaning wipes the most is they are super safe to use around kids. So I find myself cleaning the kids' areas a lot with these wipes because I know how safe they are. So the first step for me is always to clean, to get as much dust and debris off of areas in my house that I can. And when I was cleaning,
I started to think about nonverbal cues that I get from my dad, that I remember from my dad, that I automatically do with my girls. For example, like I realized early in my parenting with my girls, like I guess as they got older, I would like show my teeth. Like I remember growing up, my dad, I'll wait to like let us know that he was serious. He would show his teeth. Like he'd be like stop. Like get over there, like get over there. You know what I'm saying? Where I realized like that was a way that he communicated to us that he was serious about whatever he was trying to get us to do or stop doing. And I realized I started doing that in my parenting where I'm trying to get something over to my kids. I would show my teeth a lot, but like stop it now. And I'm trying to understand, is that good or bad? Because for me, I'm always trying to find a way to like be firm with my kids without damaging them. I think a lot of the times in parenting, it's easy to damage our kids by the way that we speak to them and the nonverbal cues that we do that a lot of the times we don't even notice, right? Like that was a nonverbal cue that I happened to catch one day, like, oh dang, where did that come from? Oh, I got that from my dad. And to be honest with you, like early on when like Maddie got older and she started to like be, to do things that a 1 or 2 year old does. I don't really like to call it disobedience. Like they don't really know what disobedience is, right? So when she would do things, I would notice I would raise my voice a lot, and that's something that I got from like my upbringing and my parents, and I stopped doing that. And then I went to the next resort, which is showing my teeth, which I don't really know if it's good or bad, but it's kind of like where I'm at in my parenting right now. So as I was cleaning, I was kind of in that thought of like that nonverbal cue of like, man, I show my teeth. I wonder what other things did I do. So the next thing I started to do was sanitize after I was done cleaning up.
to sanitize my house, I got rid of traditional paper towels and swapped them out with Clorox multi-purpose paper towels. When sanitizing, the focus is to reduce bacteria around your house or whatever area that you are cleaning. It's great for some gentle cleaning and germ kill. Clorox multi-purpose paper towels are lightly moistened and textured to trap and lift particles, dust, dirt, and food crumbs, making them a convenient solution for daily touch-ups around the kitchen and home. These convenient sanitizing wipes are preloaded with solution to help you keep your home protected from bacteria, killing 99.9% of bacteria as you clean, which is fantastic.
And as I was sanitizing and kind of wrapped up sanitizing, I started to think about another unconscious thing that I do with my girls, and that's like a freedom for like messing up and like kind of being in pain. Now, that can kind of sound bad, but kind of hear me out. So, where I'm from, originally from LA, it's a rough neighborhood to say the least. And I realized what my dad and my mom would do is they would almost give us access to like hurt ourselves. Now that I'm older, I can recognize like when my mom and dad would have us do things, I knew that they knew what the consequences were of us doing that thing. And I noticed that I let my girls do that a lot already, where they want to try things like jumping off the couch or running down the hill or going up the hill or whatever. Whereas when I'm like never just on them, I let them do it. Now, in my head, I have a mark of measurement per se as to how far I'm going to let them go before it's too dangerous for them to really, really hurt themselves. But I kind of leave it open for them to like, hey, like you want to try it, go for it. And we'll learn from there. I think there's something to say about me actually verbally teaching my kids that, hey, like you're going to hurt yourself if you do that, rather than letting them do it and actually like possibly hurting themselves. There's a possibility in all this stuff. And I'm more on the side of go for it and you're probably going to hurt yourself, but I'm not going to tell you you're going to hurt yourself. I want you to have that adventure, have that experience. And when you thrive through it, it's great. My kids thrive a lot through these things, I'm just saying. And then when they hurt themselves, that's a lesson for me to not necessarily coach them on like, hey, this is what happens when you do this, but hey, like, you know, you did this. This is part of doing things like this. And some of that sometimes is painful. And that's something that I really realized my parents did out of that, just the environment that they grew up in, and not really something that they were consciously thinking about. It was just the environment that we lived in. And it's just something that I see myself unconsciously doing with my kids, really in my everyday life of like parenting them. So yeah, I got all done kind of sanitizing. And then lastly, I wrapped up by disinfecting. This is what disinfecting is.
When I disinfect my house, I use Clorox Sentiva disinfecting wipes and the traditional Clorox disinfecting wipes. When disinfecting, it destroys or inactivates both bacteria and viruses identified on the label provided. Clorox Sentiva disinfecting wipes is the ultimate form of self-care, especially for in the bathroom for me and my girls. The scent of the Tahitian grapefruit splash gives off breezy and fresh vibes that my girls love to smell when I'm all done cleaning the bathroom. I use the disinfecting wipes to disinfect the tub and shower, the girls' potty seat, and the toilet and other areas of the bathroom as well. When disinfecting, it's super important to get all areas with germs and bacteria, especially the high-touch surface areas. We can drastically reduce germ transmission inside and outside of our homes if we all took responsibility to practice smart disinfecting. We can help mitigate the risk of future illness spread. I'll focus on getting all areas that I know we touch a lot, such as doorknobs, the fridge, toilet handles, and the child safety gate.
So the last unconscious thing that I do as a dad is giving love that can only be expressed and not explained. And this is something I'm still kind of like processing in my own head, but I realize with my girls, I tell them that I love them all the time. And I know that they can't understand what the definition of love is right now, but the way that I express love to them is something they can only feel. I think it's the way how I pay attention to them, the words that I speak to them. And the biggest thing that really has helped me that I unconsciously do, that I think is the opposite of what my parents did, is I meet my kids where they're at, right? Like when my daughters are crying or upset, I think it was super easy for me in the beginning to be like, hey, like you're tripping. Like, what are you mad about? This is not a big deal. Whereas now I've trained myself to be like, hey, meet them where they're at. Although externally what I see can be ridiculous from my point of view as a 20-year-old adult, for them it's a real valid feeling. So I started to like bring my voice down or bring my tonality down and my energy to wherever they're at. And I unconsciously did it, and I think that has come from me, again, doing the opposite of what my parents did for me. What my parents did for me was more so out of reaction, more so than like them processing it, because we lived and they grew up in an environment where it was all reactionary and more of the survival mentality. And I wanted to share all this today about these 3 unconscious things that I do as a dad, is because I think that this is something that we can realize in our parenting, that this is something that we can evaluate ourselves and change accordingly based on the temperament of our kids, how our kids are, the environments that we live in, and adjust them accordingly to raise our kids in the environment that is best suitable. I don't really believe that like that one parenting style is right. I believe depending on where we're at, where you're raising your kid, you have to raise your kid a certain way. I think love has to always be there. I think a certain amount of discipline has to be there, but that varies depending on where you're raising your kids. I think for me, like living in Minnesota, I'll raise my kids much different than if we were living in Compton. Same thing if I was living in Compton, I'll raise my kids different if we're living in Africa, right? And this is something that I kind of realized today and I wanted to share. So that's really my thoughts. I want to start doing this more where I have these thoughts where I can just come on here and speak to you guys rather than playing out a whole video, because this is a big part of what I want to do is just speak from my perspective, from my transition from playing football to being a dad. And I think a lot of these things, how I process is because of football, because of how hard I've worked to look at how I play, watch other people do things, and that makes me self-evaluate to be the best football player that I can be. The only thing I care about now is being a great husband and a great dad. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all today, fam, man. Hope you can get something out of this, and I want to say thank you one more time to Clorox for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you guys on the next one. So.